This woman's decade-long obsession with the Peter Pan character has now spiraled fully out of control on TikTok, and now you have stalking allegations coming out of nowhere. So, how do we even get here? Well, welcome to the happiest planet on Earth. Am I right? Now, it's no secret that Disney adults are considered a somewhat controversial type of people. And some of the criticisms is valid, like going into generational debt so you can go to an amusement park over and over again. Yeah, I don't know why you would do that to yourself. But it seems like other people just hate anyone over the age of 12 who wants to enjoy themselves at a Disney park, which, you know, is supposed to be designed to be this magical escape, if you will. So while a lot of people say, oh, it's cringe and so on to be, you know, hyper obsessed with Disney parks well into your adult years, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty much a harmless interest. Well, except for the person's bank account. But hey, you're an adult. You can make your own adult decisions with whatever you do with your life. Or well, that is until you get allegations on you for planting air tags on Disney characters around the park. That's a little bit out of hand. So that's who we're talking about today, the TikTok Peter Pan girl, who for some reason seems to be chronically obsessed with the Peter Pan character at Disney parks. Obviously, I'm assuming it's the costume of the person, not the person who is actually playing the role, because, you know, they would be a alternating cast of people, which would definitely be like a funny break room interlude of the Peter Pans, you know, doing the whole thing that they do when they switch out players, you know, where they give each other a high five. So, you know, when a midfielder gets swapped out mid-game, this is what happens at Disney parks probably. They go into the locker room, they give a high five to the other Peter Pan, and he goes, "Good luck. She's out there. Check yourself for air tags, dog." And then they dap each other up and give a little salute or something like that. This is what I'm imagining in the back rooms of Disney currently. But regardless, this is one of the situations that's just blown up so far out of proportion on TikTok that at this point, it's starting to get into some laughably stupid territory, which is why I wanted to cover it. But who is this Lost Boy obsessed TikToker? Well, she's a 26-year-old. She's a self-proclaimed Disney adult who goes by Baby Tony99 on TikTok and Instagram. And it is absolutely clear as day. When you scroll through her accounts, she loves Disney. And currently, she has about 150,000 followers across her platforms. And Tony has been posting photos and videos of her cosplaying characters and visiting the parks for years. And it doesn't seem like it's raised any eyebrows until now, because recently she posted a 5-minute long video of her gifting Peter Pan something that she crocheted for him, and then kind of just like following him around the park. And viewers quickly pointed out how awkward and uncomfortable this whole video was.
Bye. Bye. What? Whoa! Where did you get this?
I made it.
No, you didn't.
I made it.
This is really nice.
Thanks.
What am I supposed to do with it?
I wanted to take a picture of you with it.
Oh, okay.
So would your duck quack or would it crow?
Oh, it would definitely crow. It's not as good as me though.
No.
What?
So
Why are you looking at me like that? Well, now what? You have your prizes. I have my prize.
Now we'll see you next week, right?
Cross my heart, as a Lost Boy honor, I will take care of my duck/chick.
Sounds great. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
We love you.
I know.
So obviously at first a lot of people went, yeah, this is a little bit obsessive. But when they started going through her account, that's when they went, oh, this is very obsessive. I mean, her first pinned post is a 10-year anniversary slideshow of meeting the Lost Boy who changed her life. And it's just filled with photos of her and various Peter Pans over the decade. And obviously, hey, I completely understand doing this as 16. But if you're still doing this at 26, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Which also brings up the question, has you been doing similar stuff for years? I don't know. But Tony is clearly a season pass holder based on how often she visits Disneyland. But on top of that, she seems most invested in meeting and taking photos with her favorite characters. And her absolute favorite is definitely Peter Pan. And I didn't know this until now, but this apparently isn't even like a new obsession or anything. Like, she's not the first of the kind. Because specifically on Tumblr, there is a whole bunch of people who are just extremely obsessed with Peter Pan for some reason.
To surmise, in 2009, 2010, there was this guy named Spiling Peter Pan. There's a lot of cute videos of him interacting with kids and being in character. People are obsessed with him because he's a redhead and quirky, and people used to stalk him, and there was like pages dedicated to him, and that's like a notorious oh, y'all took this way too far.
Because there's multiple character actors who alternate playing him throughout the parks from day to day, and fandoms were created for each specific Peter Pan. And some of it even got out of hand with people becoming more obsessed with the actor than the character. I mean, you can still find blogs dedicated to them. So Tony isn't exactly alone in her obsession here. Not that it really makes it okay, but she's not the only one doing this. And in her content on her page, she really doesn't seem interested in who the specific person playing Peter is, but it's very clear that she loves the character and makes a point of seeing him as much as possible, sometimes even weekly. Which, you know, could be a little weird or uncomfortable for some of these actors, but we'll continue. And a lot of people were pointing out that the only reason that, like, people don't really have a problem with her right now is because she's just like this weird quirky girl. Like, for some reason she always has a Peter Pan backed up against the wall, giving them gifts and making awkward jokes about proposals, all while they awkwardly try to navigate the interaction professionally without losing their job.
No. 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 You can have Eric.
I don't want Eric.
No, I don't want you either. No.
Oh.
There's clips of her running after Peter Pan as he skips away, and it almost seems like he's like trying to ignore her in hopes that she just doesn't catch up to him.
Cool outfit.
Maybe she's just like a reverse Tinkerbell to them. They just like try to not believe in her and hopefully she just disappears. I don't know. But people in her comments claim that she will be getting in line to meet them over and over again or talk to them for longer than what is normal, which would be definitely uncomfortable for anyone playing this character. But I also feel like at some point they probably just come to this conclusion that this person might not be playing with a full deck of cards. Regardless though, I mean, she's still an adult and she could be taking up precious time that kids who've traveled across the country, even across the world, to have this one interaction with Peter Pan. She might be hogging some of that time. And it's not like the Peter Pans can just be like, please leave us alone. That wouldn't really go too well. But regardless, it seems like every time she meets them, she kind of farms them for content. And at first it seems like, okay, she's taking these portrait photos, maybe for memories and so on and so on. But as they go on, it's very clear that, okay, this is also a part of her social media, and she needs to post this for engagement on social media. So the Peter Pans might not just be like, uh-oh, here she comes again, but they might also be like, uh-oh, we're gonna get posted on TikTok again. And again, they can't say anything to her, at least without putting their job at risk. So tons of people start making commentary about Tony calling her an obsessed stalker and making the argument that if this was a guy constantly following around one of the princesses, joking about proposing or kissing them, he would likely have already been banned from the parks.
This whole situation with the Peter Pan girl at Disney is why we cannot allow one person's feelings to be more important than someone else's safety. Do you think that it's fun for the employees that probably don't even stay more than a year or two because they can't deal with it to come in and constantly be briefed about this woman and be stressed every second of their shift, like waiting for her to come around the corner and stick a camera in their face and force them to engage in some ridiculous, like, rambling conversation with her? Like, sometimes we cannot prioritize, you know, everybody's feelings. We can't.
Which, I mean, that could be a fair point. I don't know. It's easy to see how this can be very odd and unsettling for the people. And there's absolutely been multiple instances of people stalking or acting extremely weird to the Disney characters there. And one of the crazier parts of the story is Tony has a husband. Number one, why? What's going on here? But of course, that leaves people to question, okay, what does he think about her Disney obsession? I don't know. I feel like you'd feel a little bit weird if your wife is constantly obsessed with, you know, Peter Pan and the actors playing Peter Pan to the point where she goes out of her way to meet with them once a week. That's a little like, come on. But either way, Tony was being hit with criticism from all angles, so she made a post stating that her and Green Bean would be taking a break. And honestly, I mean, I don't blame her because like the rumors and criticism just started taking a life of its own with no real grounding to reality. But also, I mean, Green Bean, she has a nickname for Peter Pan at Disney. Okay. Well, regardless, an account pretending to be one of the actors of Peter Pan started posting some pretty crazy stuff, claiming that she was putting air tags into the gifts that she was crocheting for them, as well as insinuating that she got him fired. Now, I feel like most normal people would be like, yeah, this is fake. There's no way this is real. But if you look at Tony's comments, it's clear that a lot of people took this at face value and actually believed all this. And at some point, some of the bigger or more popular Disney adults started weighing in online and actually defending Tony.
First of all, the number one question I keep seeing people asking is Tony banned from Disneyland? And the answer to that is no. And the reason why she is not banned from Disneyland is because Tony hasn't done anything wrong. Now you're probably saying, but she's been stalking and harassing this guy for 10 years. And while it's true that she has been visiting Peter Pan, the character, not one specific actor, over the course of 10 years, this girl has posted 978 videos across 2 social media accounts. That's still less than 2 videos a week, and not all of them are even with Peter Pan. And it's not like she's meeting the same Peter Pan actor every time or following one guy around. She is meeting the character.
But it seems like a lot of the people on the internet were going, well, they're also Disney adults and are obsessed with this, so they are then biased. But then things went out in left field because previous Peter Pans actually started addressing the situation themselves. And yeah, as these videos came out, it only confused people even more.
Hello everyone, I'm Joshua, and I used to be a character performer for Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. It recently came to my attention that there is this girl that's going viral, I think her name is Tony or something like that, who is obsessed with Peter Pan at Disney World.
Okay, so the first video was posted by a creator by the name of Joshua, who allegedly used to be best friends with Peter Pan, or the person playing as Peter Pan, or one of the Peter Pans. And while he only briefly addresses Tony in the video, he does talk about, you know, Disney stalkers in length, and he actually does tag Tony in the caption.
I used to be best friends with Peter Pan. If you don't know what I'm saying, I'm going to include pictures of my best friend. I myself, whilst working at Disney World, had a stalker. She came to my line every single shift that I was Peter Pan, and likely to the other 2 or 3 people that were cast in the role of Peter Pan at the time, and she would continue to circle the queue line over and over and over again to see Peter Pan. This person was easily in her late 20s, early 30s, and would come to my line time and time again, asking a little bit SH type questions that the character attendant that was helping me on these sets was quite unsure of how to handle the situation. So next time you're there, just remember to be respectful and kind to the performer. And don't be a Tony.
So this obviously made a lot of people go, okay, she's probably talking about Tony here, because let's be real, why else would you tag her? But almost immediately, Joshua then came back to clarify that Tony wasn't a stalker, and he doesn't even remember meeting her the one time that he did, because he apparently worked in Disney World, Florida, while she frequents to Disneyland in California.
I just wanted to come on here and address some more serious things really quick. I had a different stalker altogether. Tony was not my stalker. I want to make that very clear. A person sent a picture or a video or something like that of me interacting with Tony at some point when I was at the parks. I don't recall this moment, and I had thousands of interactions with guests all the time, but I want to make it very clear that Tony herself was not my stalker. I had a couple of people that were stalking all of the Peter Pans at Disney World, and we all kind of knew about who they were. We would notice them whenever they would come through our queue lines all the time.
And he told people not to spread hate, he was just spreading his own awareness here, but it definitely did not help the situation whatsoever. And then, just days ago, one of the Peter Pans Tony frequently met made a video telling his own story.
Hi everyone, it's me. From the many videos that have been going around on TikTok, I flew with Peter in Disneyland from 2014 to 2021. And yes, I had many interactions with Tony.
So his name is Dylan, and he outlines his many meetings with Tony, claiming that while it did feel awkward and uncomfortable at times, she never crossed any boundaries.
As you can see in the video, Tony's behavior did make me feel a little awkward and uncomfortable, but at no point did it cross any boundaries of what a character interaction should look like at Disneyland. She was very enthusiastic about meeting the character, maybe a little more so than most, but it never crossed the boundary of trying to get to know the performer. And so we need to end the discourse and the harassment and the online toxicity that is being aimed at her. She's doing nothing wrong. She's acting within all the guidelines of what a guest should do at Disneyland. It's a little extra and a little more than most, but she's within her right to do so.
And I mean, hey, that's positive, but a lot of people were quick to point out, okay, well, you're not meant to feel awkward and uncomfortable at your job pretty consistently. And just because she hasn't broken a rule doesn't mean that she's not being creepy. And I guess like Joshua, Dylan also tells his own story about a stalker that he had during his time working there. And he did this to, I guess, give an example of someone actually crossing the boundaries.
I do have a story about another stalker that is not Tony that did cross the boundary. One day while I was performing in Disneyland, I had a guest that had come up to me many times a day, came up to me, and she described my dog to me in very specific detail. And I was completely private on all of my social media accounts, so I am quite unsure as to where she got these details. Very shortly after, I found her waiting at the cast member parking lot for me. For about a month, she was there every shift, waiting.
But he made sure to clarify that this stalker was not Tony. But overall, I mean, this is just crazy to me because now I've just found out something new about the world. Apparently, the Peter Pans working at the Disney parks around the world have crazed stalkers. You really do learn something every day. I'm happy that we could learn this together. Sometimes I do learn about things on the internet. I go, huh, fascinating. That is interesting. Also, isn't Peter Pan technically a child, like, in the stories? So, like, you have grown adult women shipping themselves with a fictional child? Okay, yeah. Either way, viewers haven't let go of this. They still want the story and the side from all the other Peter Pans that she has allegedly stalked. So, will this end anytime soon? I don't think so. Probably not. We'll see though. But it seems like a lot of people on the internet are not satisfied until they are proven right that she is actually a deranged stalker who went way over the line. I don't know. I can only get a vibe check from watching countless TikToks and reading through the comments. But that's my current vibe check of the situation. And as of right now, Tony is taking a break from the internet, which I also kind of understand. And she says that, you know, she always lets the actors lead so she doesn't step over any boundaries and so on and so on. But again, these actors are in this like weird situation where they can't be like, please leave me alone to her. So, and she also confirmed in an interview that she's not banned from the park like people have been speculating online. And I'm also kind of speculating that now that we know that there's a whole bunch of other stalkers out there, Tony's probably going to get swapped out for an even worse Disney stalker, and then the story's just going to go crazy around that person. I don't know. That could happen. That's just a little speculation of mine. But regardless, that was the TikTok Peter Pan stalker situation. And honestly, yeah, it's all just kind of insane. Welcome to the insanity. We all just live in it. That's our reality now. Okay. Overall, fascinating use of free will. But hey, regardless, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.